starting to see the senior year urgency. The guy that's got to step up because he realizes that this is his last go around, and now we're trying to really flame that, you know what I mean, and really ignite him to step forward and to take a big time role in our defense.
Mike just referred to him, you mentioned that it was kind of a pleasant surprise. I'm curious, what were your expectations when you first learned about him and then kind of watched him? What did you think he could do before he got here?
We brought him in with the mentality that he compete for a starting job. Again, with losing Colbert and Korn off of last year's team, we feel like with the way that our roster is, we had to, not just him, but with Javante Dean, we had to bring in some quick fix guys because and then we also knew we had an eye on the recruiting class. We love the 2018 recruiting class. So we felt like being able to have a guy that could come in, compete at a high level early on, help himself. I think it's going to help him immensely with his future playing career. To me, for us, it was a no-brainer.
Turnovers were obviously an area where you guys, if you'd had a few more last year, it would have been different. So what are you seeing so far as guys making plays on the ball?
Well, you can tell they are responding to our the greater emphasis we have put on it. We're getting our hands on more balls. We have added some guys, and part of it is recruiting, like D. Delaney. D. Delaney's got ball skills, so some guys, if you throw it near them, they're going to catch it. That helps, So we all became better coaches by putting guys in the line that can catch the ball. So, but you want it to be contagious. We're making a big point of emphasis to score on defense this year. So we're practicing the procedure of turning defense into offense. That's something we're really trying to, day to day, everything we get, we're trying to score on defense.
I know Mike's been obviously limited for a little bit. How have you guys adjusted kind of with the linebackers, and has anybody kind of stepped up and said, all right, I'm going to try and take advantage while he's out a little bit?
Mike
Pinckney.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
We got a lot of Mikes. I'm sorry, so I was trying to figure out which Mike you're talking about.
Just how have you seen have guys stepped up a little bit behind him, and how are you guys?
Yeah, it's been good. One, again, is that Darian Owens, who's mostly running with the first team. Can he be that guy? Can he take control? He was that guy. He's had to be on the sidelines. It's hard. It is so hard in college ball when these guys got to battle back from injuries. Jamie Gordonier's in the same boat, and all of a sudden now you got to get back in the mix. Mike Smith, I think, has continued where he left off in the spring of being a guy that's active and making plays. And what I see about with Mike Smith is just urgent. He wants it really bad, and that sounds so over obvious, but some guys, they just lock in. They realize it's their time to make an impact on the team. You see that with Mike. Bradley Jennings is coming along. Terry McRae is really improving. So what we have is really what we want, a bunch of guys competing. I told the linebackers at the beginning of the year, with all the guys I had coming back, okay, we're in a very unique situation. Everybody knows the program, knows the system. We should be dominant on special teams because all those guys should be fighting for some role to help Miami win games.
Are you seeing that urgency with the defensive tackles at all, through the first week of camp?
Yeah, I think the neat thing about Norton and McIntosh is that they're not satisfied. They're continuing to push themselves to a different level. Pat Bethel, just his DNA, his makeup, the way that he was raised, he's going to give you everything he has. He's going to be defined by his work ethic and his toughness. And then you've got a guy like Moten who's in his senior year. So he's starting to raise his game. He realized this is his last go around. So again, you play the 4-3, the defensive tackles. Those are the most important guys we have on the field.
With Ford, what is the process going to be like for him? When he gets here, how tough is it for a defensive tackle, in this setup to come in midway through camp or whenever he gets here?
We'll find out. We haven't talked about it a lot. When he gets in, we'll get him acclimated to what we're doing, and we'll see. It's like opening a present. You had one left under the tree. You're putting your tree up, a couple weeks after Christmas, and all of a sudden there's one left in there. So we'll open up and see if we can plug it in and play.
Couple more. You got your first scrimmage coming up, and I'm wondering, what you're looking for, and we're not sure yet. Mark didn't tell us if the quarterbacks will be live or not. If they are, your defense is so dominant. Do you at all, are you concerned about some inexperienced quarterbacks getting crunched?
Well, let's address two things there.
Okay.
Our defense has not established any domination over anything, right? And that's important because I told them I heard a great saying in church this weekend: a strength assumed is a weakness doubled. And there's a lot of assumptions being made, and the assumption is, well, if this guy plays as well as Cornander, well, if this guy plays as well as Shamar, and those are still assumptions. We don't know until we play. So the fact that we're being told that we're dominant is really just That has not been proven yet. So we have to have a little bit of an edge and a chip on our shoulder to prove that. When we scrimmage, the first thing is, and you'll get tired of me saying it, is going to be about will we tackle, and especially in the secondary. You know, we told our guys all we have to do is miss 2 more tackles a game that Jamal Carter, Rayshon Jenkins, and Cornell Elder made a year ago, and we go from being pretty good to pretty awful in a hurry. Just 2 plays. So that standard of tackling in the secondary and then at all positions will be the first thing we'll find out on Saturday. The second thing is, and this is the great thing about being able to go scrimmage up at Hard Rock, is now does the setting change? Even when the stadium is empty, sometimes just being on that stage, the game moves a little bit faster. So some of the more younger guys, some of the more inexperienced guys, can they process the calls and play the play with the offense that we have and the tempo they're going at when all of a sudden they're in that environment, or do some guys all of a sudden start to behave differently than they do out here on the practice field? So those are 2 main things we look at.
What about the quarterback question with Nicosi's new and maybe he's a little tentative or whatever? I don't know if they're going to go live, but if they do, you just have to let them go as hard as they can, right?
For us, it doesn't change anything. I mean, we're just going to play, you know, we're going to play ball, but actually what it does for us, a lot of times, what we think we have a sack when we tag a guy may not be a sack at all. Okay, so what it actually shows on pass rush is that most sacks occur because you got to bring a buddy. One guy may have a great pass rush. Quarterbacks aren't dumb. They're not going to let you sack him. So they generally move around in the pocket. It's going to be the next guy getting off his block and maintaining his lane integrity that's got to hem him in. The other challenge is just to our run defense. Okay, we have quarterbacks that now are a threat to pull the ball in quarterback run game. Okay, which is a great challenge, and that's something that we see a couple different times in our league. So can we handle leveraging the ball on quarterback run game? That'll be the challenge.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you all.